Game Stream. I'm your host, Devious Dave Rose, and since I'm going to be playing different games as well, I've decided to to start a new show just called Game Stream, real simple, and cover all the different games that I'll be playing just under that title as opposed to just Community Kerbals, because I plan to do more. So, shout out to all those in the chat. Looks like it's only Costanza, and yet we have 14 people viewing. That's an interesting thing, Shid? I know you're listening. You probably got nothing better to do. And I do wonder about the others. I mean, kind of disproves the point that you, and others actually have made, that no one watches the Kerbal streams and, blah, 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 so forth and so on. But comical, very comical nonetheless. So hello to all those people that are there. I guess probably hate watching me, to be quite honest. But I really couldn't care less about them. What I do care about is what I'm going to be doing today. So let me just do a transition here so we can get to, there we go, the KSP game. And we're going to get this working. All right, so now we are going to be partaking in making the new, relatively new, NASA Space Launch System. Actually, before we do that, let me actually show you what we're dealing with here, because we're going to be making this. Oops. There we go. So, and very cool is that they rolled this thing out, took 10 hours to get from the assembly building to the launch pad on the same sort of trawling system that the shuttle was using. And on Saturday, 4 bolts of lightning hit the what's called the berthing, or the umbilical tower. And obviously with this thing hooked up, it's all supposed to be grounded. It's not supposed to cause damage to the systems, although it has in the past, and even back in Apollo days. So they're going to have to check the systems and all that. It's just on the platform right now because they're going to be testing it for the next few months. And this first Artemis 1 mission, which is just to send an unmanned vehicle around the moon, is supposed to launch no later than May. Actually, I was reading that article, yeah. I think it was this one. Yeah, so it's just called Exploration Mission 1. It's going to test this new rocket here. And it's going to go for around 26 days, which is quite an extended period of time. And 6 days orbiting the moon, which is quite a long time in comparison to what purportedly went down with Apollo. But it's really interesting. See, yeah, no later than May 2022. And after that, they're supposed to take the data from that mission, analyze it, and figure out any changes they need to do for Block B. So let me just... okay, so this is... or Block 1B. So this is the one they're launching right now, or they will be. It's just a slightly shorter version. It's at 322. This one's at 366, actually, not the 64. Larger. I believe a slight change in the boosters, solid rocket boosters. And it's going to have more fuel capacity and so forth, and potentially more cargo capacity as well. But that hasn't been created yet. All that they have is this one here. And that's the one on the platform right now. And that's the one they're going to test. And you can see, if we look at this, I think it was this one. Yeah, there we go. So you got the core stage, solid rocket boosters, flight adapter, which is also fairing for this mid-interstage propellant, or what's it called? Well, it's a boost phase. It's essentially another stage. adapter then to all these panels here that then connect to the service module, and this is the one that's supposed to be going around the moon, and obviously a launch abort tower. So that's what we're going to be trying to put together today, and yeah, we'll see if we hold up to the NASA standard, which is if you can't make it, fake it. So yeah, there you go. There's different iterations of what they plan to release, and this one is supposedly going to be the largest one, obviously, with its maximum thrust and maximum cargo, and we're many years away from that. This system is already, the SLS system is already majorly delayed, and yet SpaceX is going leaps and bounds beyond them, and they may just have a launch and landing system capable of reaching the moon possibly before NASA. And what's his name? Jeff Bezos, who's been trying to sweeten the deal when it comes to getting the military to buy his rocket and lander, just keeps getting embarrassed. So let's get back to it now, boppers. So now that you see what we're dealing with here, I have a better idea as to what we're going to have to do. So we're going to go back to the game here. Shout out to the 15 viewers right now and all the hate watchers. Meow, 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 meow. So let me get back to this game here. Un moment, s'il vous plaît. Alors. All right, so we're going to resume saved, go back to New Frontier, which is the last one we had. All right, so we're going to make it, actually, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to make it unmanned. What did I leave on the launch pad here? Lay's delivery vehicle debris. Oh, that's right. That was Greasy Illegal's delivery vehicle. All right, we're going to recover that because we need the platform clear. All right, I'm still wondering whether or not I'm going to have it uncrewed or if I should crew it. Because in Kerbals, you know, they're quite disposable. And, I don't know, because I could just easily make it autonomous. I'll make it autonomous. I can always put somebody in there later if I wanted to. So let's just do this. Whoops. Well, doesn't matter really. It's gonna definitely be tall. Okay, we're going to call this, instead of SLS, KLK. Block 1. NASA ain't got shit on Kerbals. Alrighty, so now we have to plan to try to make this as accurate as possible. Shout out to Festlove in the chat. All right, well, this is where it all starts. This is where we're going to have to start putting this beast together, and it's going to be a big one. So first, we do want the largest capacity. Well, we're going to start backwards. We're going to go with the reverse. Is this the one? No. We're looking for the giant ones. This is the fuselage. Ah, I had to scroll down further, right? Yeah, I think so. Where's the big... I know there's a big one. There's got to be a bigger one. I know there's a bigger one. Okay, let's go to engines because we know the ones that we're going to need. These are the ones... Actually, maybe I'm wrong. I thought there were bigger ones. Nope, I guess that's it. So that's what... No, there is. Yeah. I knew it. See? So that's the tank that we're going for. We're going for the one that is obviously the appropriate size. And not the wrong one that I picked. But why am I not finding it? Is it this one? Ah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Now, these ones we're going to use for the other stages. So we're going to... Whoops. I'm going to do this. Looks a little cluttered, so I'll just zoom out here. Oh, the lovely Ms. Cora in the chat. Hope the weather's doing better there. We may get snow overnight. I don't know. All right, so we're going to do this, like I said, backwards. I'm going to do that. I want to try to make it look as accurate as possible. Let's do that. It won't let me to change the color of this one, unfortunately. And one more should do it. Let me quickly go back to the images here. Oh, another thing that's going to tell us the size is the rocket boosters, the big ones. No, I believe there's a bigger one. Nope. Nope. I think it's this one. Yeah, there we go. Shit, these are fucking massive. Let me go check back that image again. This thing is going to be a monster of a rocket. Oof, I don't know if I'm going to... This might be a little too powerful. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to risk it. These things could literally pull this thing apart. And the impact from these crashing into the body would certainly lead to ruin. And I mean, it is fun to see these things blow up from time to time too, but I'm still looking for some, not accuracy, but at least some level of security to ensure that the mission is successful. But it doesn't look like I'm finding what I'm looking for. These are the... Okay, I'll think about that for a moment. What we need to do is get our stages set up proper. Apparently, Cora's week is not going too well. Well, it's only Monday, so it can only go downhill, right? All right, so... all right, we need a heat shield. That's very important. This one? No. Okay, because the speed that we're going to be coming back into the atmosphere should cause some serious problems. So we need a decoupler now. Nope. Okay. I'm going to go back to the image here. Okay, so we need the service module. So that's going to be a small little... That's going to be probably smaller than that, right? Yes. Oops. Well, whatever. I can make that later. Too big. That should do it. Yep. There we go. That's looking much more like the service module from... oh yeah, I forgot to mention that what's equipped on top is the Orion module. That's made by Lockheed Martin, and it's supposed to be made for very long trips into outer space, and supposedly has the necessary radiation protection. I'm going to see whether or not that's the actual case. But let's see here. We need an engine for this. It doesn't need to be too powerful. It's going to be a small one. Yep, that looks very, very much like the one on the Orion capsule. Let's see what kind of thrust we got. Oh, only 60. I'm not a fan of that. But we still want to keep the size small. What is this? 220. Should be good enough. These ones are way too big. These ones are monopropellant. Speaking of monopropellant, we need some what's called command and control here. And these are going to be our thrusters to... did I grab it or what? There we go. To be able to maneuver our craft in space. I gotta check, how much does this have? As RCS. Monopropellant's 30. Oof. I'm gonna have to attach a battery, another battery, because it has 150 charge, but I'd feel safer if it was more. But only 30 monopropellant. That's a concern for me. There's nothing that says in the... you know, like I haven't seen... Actually, maybe I'll just look that up right now. Orion capsule. I don't know if anyone watched WrestleMania yesterday. It wasn't bad. Well, actually, to be quite honest, it wasn't really good. But, hey, I mean... I watched some stuff. The first night was much better, but let's see here. I'm gonna have to be creative in some method to make this work, but we'll make it work. Also, I'm not a fan of escape towers. They're cool to initiate and all that, and you know, but fuck it. If it's gonna be unmanned, then why waste that weight? But we got to do something about this monopropellant, though, and we got to make sure that it doesn't interfere. How are we gonna do this? I guess we're gonna have to add monopropellant fuel tank, but the problem is that even the small ones here are somewhat thick. I think it's this one. Nope. Nope. Yeah, see, that's way too big. Oh, Festlef seems to have liked the Jackass stuff. Was the Jackass stuff yesterday or was it Saturday? It was I had a few chuckles, I'll be, you know, but it was sad. It was like watching a total gimmick match, and just wasn't really my cup of tea. Regardless, we're going to put some RCS here. Nope. I don't like that either. It doesn't look... All right, you know what? We're going to make it do what we want it to do. So, RCS, here we go. Monopropellant. I can put it on the bottom here. Now, normally you would not have this because these are too close to the engine and probably explode. But it gives enough that we shouldn't have too many problems. We're going to need a battery as well. Let's see here. That's, I mean, I'm over-engineering here, but that should be good. We're going to need a drogue chute, and so drogue chute here, so that's for coming in at extreme speeds. And then we're going to need parachutes. And we'll just position those, make sure they're not over any windows. There we go. Let's see what else. We're going to save this. We don't want it to disappear. Oh, you like the nut kicking machine, eh? Well, it was, it was an entire gimmick thing. It wasn't really, anything of value or worth. But it is what it is. So we need another decoupler, because this stage has to eject. The service module, as they say. Nope. And obviously it's not 100%. I always hate that as well, is that if it's not, it doesn't always, it's supposed to cover the outside, but it's not doing that. I could get a fairing to do that. Actually, maybe I will do that. A fairing. Yes, I can do a fairing. Where'd those go? Is it here? Yes. This one, I believe. There we go. Oh. Nope. Doesn't want to cooperate. Okay. Well, we'll take the next size up. Oh, it doesn't want to do it, eh? Oh, there we go. Perfect. It's close enough, people. It's close enough. I'd have to agree with you, Cora. I would have wanted Brock to win as well. It's just that, no, I don't understand why they keep pushing what's his name? Pushing Reigns. See, I'm not even happy with the way this looks. I'm not sure if I can allow myself to do that. No? It wants to be stupid. I'll figure something out. Oh, you know what? I'll just use a big ferret and cover the entire fucking thing. That'll teach you. Come on. There we go. Perfect. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to create that second stage. That's going to... oops, that's actually... It is too big. Pity. I'll make it work somehow. Yeah, Cora agrees. Way much too ego to be a champ. Well, I'm not sure if that's his fault, It's just like the fact is that he's... he's just doing what McMahon wants him to do. Oh, come on. Ugh. Doesn't like my design, apparently. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Alright, so what was it? Was this song? Yeah. one's the one that's... Actually, we'll use that later. Alright, so we wanted, for this one, we needed that extra long component there. Where is that? Alright, so we got the fuel for that, and we just want that long engine. It says, yeah. Perfect. Actually, no, hold on. We want to find... This one? No. Smaller one. I'm looking for something like that, but a little smaller. Is it here, or is it in the other one? Probably the other one. Hold on. Oh, maybe. I guess it sort of does. Yeah, we'll use that, because that's a fuel. It's got fuel in there, so that'll help us. Alright, now we get the big decoupler. Nope. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to use a regular decoupler, but we're going to use the... I always forget where these go. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that's looking a lot more like the SLS. Ooh, I forgot the solar panels. 1x6, that's what they look like. 4, boom, perfect. Let's see. Oh, there's Steve Callan in the chat. What's up, Steve? All right, so that's looking good. What we want to do now, just got to remind myself, is there another stage? No. This is going to be fun. So basically, you've got the core stage, and then the transition, the what's it called? Lunar stage, which is also supposed to get you to orbit. This is going to be fun. It's going to be fun, people. We'll see. All right, so let's get these guys out of the way here, and bring this. Actually, bring it up. It'll be easier. Let's see what this looks like. A little tall. Might have to move one. Oops, wrong one. Put that one there. Yep. Change the color. That's looking a lot more like it should, yeah. Let me just quickly check the scale here. I might have to make it just a little bit taller. Yeah, we're going to have to make it a little bit taller. So back to the fuel tanks. We'll go for the big ones. That's not it. Or is it? Hello? Nope. There we go. All right, so that's looking a lot more like the SLS. We're going to save that. Move that here. Move this down. We're in the ground here, so that should be it. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good clearance. Now, save again. I can't wait to see how this launches. But you know what? I think we are going to go with the big ones, with the big solid rocket boosters. Just because it's much more accurate. So we need the couplers. We need the large ones. Actually, hold on. This is 450. This is 250. Yeah, we do want this one. We only need 2. That should be it. Yep. I'll have to check my... Oof, my stages are all fucked up. All right, so... Well, we'll take a look at this in a second, actually. Okay, so this was the stupidly... No, this one was the stupidly large one. 16,000 thrust. So we're going to want to put it there. But we need to attach it to the point. Come on. Okay. Oof, look how close they are. Let's see if I can move these. There we go. Oof. Snug. Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to see whether or not this actually works. It is, it looks fairly close to it. These are a little bit large, but fuck it. Let's give it a shot nonetheless, because this should definitely give us more than enough to get out of orbit. So, aerodynamics. We want a nice nose cone for these. Nope, too small. I believe these ones are the appropriate size. Nope, too big. Ah, just right. All right, so now we're just going to need the launch stability enhancers. Okay, so that should be enough to hold this thing up. Save it. All right, so now we need to figure it out. Okay, so that's all the way up there, that engine. So we want to move it all the way down here. Actually, we want to put it here. Actually, we want to create a separate stage where we fire them up, and then we get a nice appropriate thrust, and then we fire the solid rocket boosters, and then we're going to have these release. So engines will be throttled up. Once we're good to go, we fire the solid rocket boosters, and at that point we release the clamps here, which will allow us to obviously begin to ascend. And the next step would be for oops, let's see here, what does this say? Yes, that's right. So eventually we're high enough and these have expended their fuel, they get ejected. The next step up is the this getting thrown off here, the the coupling, whatever, and then we separate stages. We separate stages, right? Yeah. Then we fire that engine. Then separation from that. Separation from that, right? Then this engine is active. And then we have the separator there. So we're going to have to make that into a separate field here. Okay, so once it's expended its fuel, it's back ready to deorbit in Earth. It ejects from that decoupler. And now, finally, we're going to have to put the drogue first. Okay, that's the one that's going to slow us down as we proceed, and very quickly through the atmosphere. And once that slows us down sufficiently, we can then open up the primary parachutes, because if not, it essentially will it'll rip them apart. That's why you need the drogue chute first to slow down, because if not, these parachutes won't do shit. All right, just give me a second here. Just want to check one thing on my end. Oops, forgot to unmute myself. All right, let's get back to this game here. So, yeah, before we begin, does anyone in the chat want to voluntold anybody to be on this craft? Because it is autonomous, it can launch on its own. But if you would like to see somebody actually crew this vessel, an experimental vessel, which we don't even know will function. But if you'd like to see the potential demise of anybody, let me know. We can even create a character for them if I don't have them. Who do we have available? Tony, Tommy NC, Hamza, YR, Keith, Bullfrog, Tiff, Travis, Danny CTE, and Garguts. But we can make more if we want. So I'll give you guys a moment to perhaps give a suggestion. If not, it'll fly unmanned, and we'll see what happens. But because of the amount of unknowns, you know, there's a good, not a good chance, but there's a chance that there might be some casualties. So, hey, it might be funny. Not sure how long, how much we're delayed by, but that's fine. Oh, Bruce Willis. Well, this is community Kerbals, you know. He's not part of the community, unfortunately. That'd be cool if he was, but. SE Steve, I think he died. I don't know. I don't like the idea of having a Greasy on a rocket. You know, he might dirty up the controls too much. But you know what? Since it was suggested, we will do that. All right. So if I remember correctly, F12? No, Control F12, F11. There we go. Control Alt F12. So we go to cheats. Actually, not cheats. We go to Kerbals. We go to create. And we're going to call him Greasy. Just Greasy Kerbal. And although we know that he is, you know, sort of, I don't know if he's trans or what, just, you know, probably wears the women's clothing. We know he's male. We have to make him a pilot because if not, he can't. Well, no, we don't, because the ship will fly it on its own. So he could be a fucking tourist. That's really what he is. He's certainly no scientist. He's certainly no engineer. So I guess tourist it is. His personality, well, first of all, he's extremely stupid. And he has no courage whatsoever because he's Greasy. He's neither a veteran nor a badass. So we're going to create him now. And we've got Greasy. So we're going to go back to the launch here. Did he add him? Did it add him in? No. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this. Go back to make sure that the no fax channel. Let's see. Where did Greasy go? Did Greasy get put in here? I don't see him. Come on. I just added him. All right, well, let's try again. Greasy, male, tourist. No courage, full stupidity. Create the Kerbal. Let's leave this. Let's go back. I don't know why it's not showing up. Greasy illegal. He's lost. He's missing. Todd. I don't know why it's not showing up. That's fucking weird. Let's see if maybe we can... There we go. Maybe we can... Where's Greasy? Where's Greasy? It's not letting me... not letting me put him in there. Okay, well, that's weird. Yeah, we'll put Danny CT. How about that? He's engineer from Russia or Finland, I don't know. But he's trying to escape being conscripted from Russia, so he don't need to fight. And we'll put his best friend in there, Tommy. And yeah, we might as well put Hamza in there too. So let's launch it up. Stages are ready. And we'll see what fucking happens. Might have to fast forward the speed because it was dark, and it's much nicer to enjoy a nice sunrise, or at least a launch. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, we're gonna go back to our space center, and we're gonna try to fix that. That also reminds me that we're gonna need separators for those solid rocket boosters. God damn it. Some reason it left something on the launch platform, but whatever. All right, so Separatrons, as they're called. There we go. These are supposed to help the rocket leave the body of the core without crashing in and causing problems. Let's see. How big is this one? I think we should be able to accomplish it with these. So we're going to put them at an angle. Oops. Nope. You want to put them at an angle so that, because the momentum is not only going in this direction, up, according to what we're seeing, but also it's going to be going out. And that will ensure that, well, it's supposed to ensure that they don't crash in, because they eject out, momentum's going up, but these also continue to bring them out further in an arc. So we need these to actually function after, well, actually about the same time as these eject. So the separatrons, where are they? Oh, sorry, the decouplers are there. Where's that? There. So we want them to decouple and fire all at the same time. There we go. So these will decouple and they'll fire, and hopefully in that one moment they will keep things from crashing. But we're going to need these struts here to keep this thing from flopping around. Hopefully that's all we need. So let's see, is it still crude? Yep. All right. Well, no, it's now with YR, Tony, and Keith. Now let's get those guys out of there. Oh, is it still... that's probably why. This stupid thing saved the people in the other rocket. Whatever. We'll put Tony and YR so they can argue. And Bullfrog. Oops. They can all argue together. Keith would be like, yeah, I love you both. Tell me like, this guy's a joker. Come on, Kim. All right, so that's good enough. We're going to say save. We're going to say launch, clear, and recover these guys from this. That's who it should have been, but whatever. This is the standby crew. And we're getting to the moment of truth. right, so we're going to fast forward the speed so that we can get some sun. There we go. All right, so first we switch SAS on, which controls our computer. And, uh-oh, I didn't put these in the right spot. They were all supposed to move there. I don't know. Which one is this? Oh, it is these. What the fuck? No, we're going back to the fucking... Hold on. Recover vessel. There we go. I'm going to cover the vessel. I'm going to look back at these stagings here because this doesn't... this is not making sense. There's something amiss. Yes, we're done. Bring them back. Come on. All right, so... Let's see what the problem is. Those are there. What's over here? So there's two. And there's two. Oh, I get it. Okay, so these are the rocket. Got it. Okay. Yeah. But what about these? Ah, these are supposed to be up here. But why is there 5? Okay, so. Yeah. Why is it? It says there's 2. Why is it 3 though? There's one here that's not supposed to. Yeah, you see that? Something wrong there. It's supposed to only be 4. Okay. But that should only be 2, not 3. Okay, well, we'll do it this way. Fuck it. There you go. Let's try this again. Hope your Monday is going well, people. All right, so Separatrons there, so that's where we've got to put them. See, look at that. There's something wrong here. See, it says 2, but then there's that third one. And if I clone this and just spin it the other way, that one's recognizing, but the first one isn't. Man, that's the fuckiest thing. Okay, well. Oh, did I populate it with anybody? Oh, it's still the old crew. Whatever. Okay. Activate SLS. Throttle up to 80%. All right, let's see how this goes. Definitely heavy. Watching the. Let me know if the volume is too high for the game. So we're about 2 kilometers, 3. I'm going to begin a slight roll. see what our altitude is here. 39 kilometers. These solid rocket boosters are almost done. We're going to throttle up. Try to see if we can... Yeah, these main rockets are strong. Or the main engine. So we're almost at cutoff. Ooh! Alright, so thankfully we avoided getting destroyed by those massive massive boosters here. So we're trying to equalize the orbit, circularize. We have a lot of fucking fuel. We definitely overdid it. But this is, you know, what NASA wants to do as well. Like we're going to be coasting at 500,000 kilometers from the surface, and we still have so much fuel. Well, not so much, but we have maybe 20% fuel left. We definitely don't want this thing, you know, floating in space. So if we use up all this fuel, I just don't want to use it all up. See, we might end up using it and already interject the orbit of the moon. So it's one of the problems here. Let's see what's going to happen. Oh, hold on. See there? Oh, okay. So thankfully it hasn't created a full circularized orbit. Because, again, we don't want this huge piece of space junk just floating around. It's common courtesy, as they say. See, this is the problem. See how now we only have a little bit of fuel left. Maybe we can just boost it a little further. See, at this point, because you have so much momentum and even a little bit of fuel can push you very, very far. There we go. Whoops. Let's check. Okay, so that would just... maybe we can point it around backwards. No, we're not going to do that. Too much effort to move this thing. So what we're going to do now is, unfortunately, we're going to have... this is not normally how it's done. This stuff is thrown into the ocean prior to creating such a big... oops. Oh, fuck. Again. A big orbit. But yeah, it's going to be following us. So we're going to stage it. And we're going to eject this stage here. Activate RCS and try to move forward. Oops. Oh, did I just fucking... Oh no, thank God. I thought I ejected a stage, but no. I activated it. So yeah, we're moving away from this. And we're basically at that point here. So what we want to do is we're going to turn around. What I'm trying to do is get around this. And by reducing our orbit, we have a better chance of interjecting the moon. Okay, so this is now far away from us. We don't have to worry about it. So, let me just take a breather here. We can technically go into retrograde mode here. We'll deactivate RCS, we don't want to use it all. Bring down our orbit. We've got substantial amount of fuel. By doing so, it'll allow us to circularize much better and allow us to actually intercept the moon. Because all we got to do is probably do one rotation and we'll be able to catch up to it. Just we want to deal with an orbit that's certainly a lot less than 2 million kilometers. And we're using a lot of fuel. Let's see, what are we going to do? We'll have to do it that way. We're going to have to circularize up here at the apoapsis just because it's the most efficient use of the fuel. And that should allow us then to create a proper orbit to intersect the moon. So we learned our big lesson is that we have obviously a lot of fuel to get into orbit, but we needed to adjust our orbit appropriately, even with such a large, strong rocket, so that we wouldn't have encountered that. We'd probably potentially be able to remove some fuel from that rocket, because all of it wasn't needed. So, and what we're going to do is we want in prograde position. Let's use the RCS to get us there. Oof, hopefully I didn't run out of electricity. Ah! That's what it is, people. I ran out of electricity, I think. No, I do have electricity, so what the fuck? I should be able to eject these. No, yeah, I think I did lose electricity. It says electric charge, but I'm not getting anything. Son of a bitch. Electric charge 150. What in the fuck? Weird. So yeah, there's no, it's not on, oh, that's why. It was on fast, it was still on a little bit on fast forward. Damn it, Dave. Pay fucking attention. All right, so we need to circularize. Added a maneuver. I'll just increase till we have periapsis of 100, I guess. A little less. There we go. So, got to wait about 2 minutes, game time, for this burn. And obviously it'll tell us. This is the cool thing about these maneuvers here. So you put it to target. Where's target? Maneuver. There we go. We can speed it up a little bit. It's usually good to start, at least 30 seconds prior to beginning the maneuver. I'm going to do it now. We're going to see this reduce our delta V. Got to keep monitoring fuel. And begin throttling down. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oops. We're almost there. It'll tell us when we're in nominal position here. There we go. See, green is good enough. So now that we've done that, we just have to wait till we get the moon. Quickest way is just wait till we breach the surface of the Earth there, and see the moon rise, which allows us then to intersect it. So let's cancel this maneuver here and fast forward. We're going to slow down now because we're getting close. So what we got to do is we've got to go prograde, and as soon as we see the moon start to get out, or to rise over the surface of Earth, we hit it. And considering the shenanigans, I think we've done quite well with fuel. We've used half of this lunar injection stage. And we have hopefully sufficient amount of fuel to return and deorbit with the service module, which is at the top. Up here. Oh, and this is a perfect time for me to actually open up the solar panels. All right, so we're still just waiting to see the Earth, or the moon. And I'm going to start playing this fishing game soon as well on this gaming stream. And I may do GTA Online. I haven't played that in months. But I got my character, and, you know, obviously not rich. You know, I just get the free stuff, do some heists. It's fun. Let me just quickly check here. We're getting there. We're getting there. You can see, though, that our inclination is slightly deviated from the equator. So that's probably from when we, you know, ejected from the main core and had to remaneuver ourselves. And there's some sort of base or something down there, because that line, that green line, is line of sight telecommunication. So if you set up an array of satellites, they can all connect to each other and transfer information. And that works in the game when you do the science version or the career version, because if you're out in the outer planets and you need to get that science, because you cash in science experiments for career points and all that. So you've got to send those points back somehow. You got to transmit them. And, well, that's when it does. So, all right, so let's just do a little bit of a time warp here. Let's do the time warp again. And we're going to see it breach here very soon. We've got the galactic center, I believe it's called. Not center. It's not the ring. There it is. There's the moon, I believe. Right? Yeah. So now we hit full thrust. I'm not sure if this is in the right angle, actually. Well, we'll see. We can always rotate this maneuver. There we go. Let's see how close we got. Periapsis of 500,000 kilometers. That should work just fine. Because then we can just fire a retrograde at this point and bring us into orbit of the moon. Problem is, look how our orbit's going to be thrown off. All right, well, let's get down to it, poppers. So, time warp. Pass our periapsis here. Now the apoapsis is going to be 11 million kilometers. Yeah, that's quite a lot. So it's at that point where we've got to fire in retrograde to get us into orbit of the moon. Now this is obviously the smaller version because the bigger one is obviously supposed to carry a lander. So obviously we don't have a lander with us, but that is the intention, is to carry a lander as well. But they are actually thinking that instead of doing that, they're just going to send it up this way, send the craft, the Orion craft, to the moon, but have already waiting there a SpaceX, whatever they're calling it now, the big one, and spaceship, I believe they're just calling it spaceship, and the big one have it wait there with all the cargo and everything ready to go, with the lander, packed inside it. So it's a really interesting proposition. But it would embarrass NASA because NASA is supposed to be able to do this sort of thing. All right, so now we're going to close up our periapsis here. Now we may not have enough fuel, at least in this stage, but it looks like we will. Yep. All right, so we want to use this as efficiently as possible. So we want to wait till here before we conduct another burn to bring this in. Well, yeah, we do. We do want to do that. I want to make it fancy. All right, so now, actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to reduce this. Yep. What's the periapsis? A little too low. Come on. Ah! What is that? 63. That's safe. I want to change the orientation here. So, I think it's this way, right? Nope. Nope. Is it this one? No. We're going to have to just do this by ear. So, not really by ear, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, good, good. That's safe. I like it a little closer. So there we go. 70 is good. We want to do. So we want to reduce this as well, the apoapsis. All right, perfect. Don't know if anyone's following what's going on in Ukraine right now. A lot of propaganda coming out of Ukraine, actually, trying to accuse the Russians of some war crimes. It looks like it's being done by the Azov contingent, who are apparently a group of neo-Nazis in Ukraine, but they were trained and paid for and assisted and armed by the CIA. So, interesting stuff. 75, 69. Oh, dude, 69. All right, so we still got some fuel. Let's see how the crew is doing. So now they're going obviously in retrograde. And there's certainly no way to land this thing. There's no legs. There's no fuel calculated to allow it to get back off. So they're just going to have to look at the moon. You got Keith there. Whoa, dude, like, whoa. You got Tony. He's tripping balls. And YR is regretting his life. Come on, Ken. Come on, Ken. Come on, see them. Come on, see them. But there we go. So we've seen that at least the platform is viable when it comes to certainly getting a craft to the moon and probably back if there was less incompetence involved. But yeah, now it's just a matter of getting them back to Kerbal, and you know, I do want to sort of expend the fuel of this stage so that I can see whether or not the final stage actually can get back to Earth. It is the service module after all, and it's supposed to be the one that is, you know, sent towards the moon without the need of this. This is the translunar injection, you know, stage. It helps you to get in that, you know, in that direction, but then its fuel is supposed to run out, and then you're supposed to be utilizing just the service module. But let's just see where we are via orbit. That's a very little amount of fuel to fuck around with. I would like to at least get this orbit on the equator, you know. I believe it would be here. Is it this one? Yes. Oops. Let's try that again. You got to do it at the point where the orbit crosses the equatorial, I've noticed. Still not perfect, but I can just do a little bit. Bang! All right, so we need 172.8 meters per second of delta V for a burn time of 11 seconds, which will commit at 6 minutes. So we will put ourselves in the direction of our target, or our maneuver. It'll switch to actually target. If you double click on, like, say, this thing, for example, the GoldenEye, Satellite, this would be target instead of maneuvers. That's why I'm getting confused here. I'm thinking I'm going to be making some chicken wings tonight. And this time I will not use that spicy sauce that killed my intestines. So that should be good. I'll do my famous and delicious lemon pepper chicken wings, and maybe I'll do a dry rub with I don't know, some chili, some paprika, onion powder. That reminds me, I think I need garlic powder. All right, we've got about still 5 minutes left prior to the burn. Oh, there's Bry Guy in the chat. What's up, Bry Guy? I didn't see you. I'm reading the chat from my phone. I realized I did not have the cable necessary to connect the second monitor when I thought I did. But I was looking at an adapter cable. I think I'm gonna make a Kerbal of Vikings fan, and maybe attach bombs or missiles to a plane, and he'll go around bombing shit and screaming, "I strike again!" All right, let's speed this up here. We'll stop at about a minute. All right, so we'll start now with our burn. I'm just going to keep our eye on this. And keep our eye on our fuel too, because that might run out mid maneuver, as tends to happen. Then that would mean that we have another piece of space junk stuck in the moon's orbit. How grand. Okay. We might actually be able to pull this off. Actually, we will be having space junk. This thing's not leaving the fucking... Yeah, it's not leaving orbit. We're almost there. We're almost there. There we go. Perfect. All right, so we're as close enough as we can get on the equatorial, and our rocket is basically just about run out of fuel, at least our trans-lunar injection phase. So we want to go prograde, and we're going to have to wait for our orbit to reach about here, because it has to be the opposite of this. So when you're here, you fire your rockets forward, or prograde, and this increases the circle or the orbit this way. So this side stays, at the same orbit, but this side starts to stretch out this way, this way, this way, and then once the gravity captures this, you can just set yourself on that course, and the momentum will carry you. So let's see here. Yeah, so we're going to wait till we're at about here, I guess. It's about... Oops. I don't know if that's the best spot for the maneuver. Interesting. That should allow us to intersect it. Well, let's cancel that. Oh, is it because of this, the periapsis? Yeah, that's why. Yeah, well, I guess we'll... Guess we'll go retrograde. Shoot off this. I don't know. We don't have to deal with this. I don't want to be playing around with the fuel. And I don't want to activate the cheats either. What say you people? This is Major Tom to ground control. Can you please tell me what to do? Here's the issue. Our periapsis is supposed to... This is what's throwing our problem off, is that we don't have a pure circular orbit, okay? It's elongated. It's almost a difference of... is it 100,000 or 100,000 kilometers, actually. And that causes a problem with interjecting into an orbit here with Earth. But that's the good thing about these maneuvers, is that you can actually, what's it called? You can plan it out to see whether or not it would work, instead of blindly seeing whether or not you can accomplish it. So, if you fuck around like this, for example, you can see where it might go. But see, this one is, it goes to a periapsis of 9 million kilometers from Earth. See that? Oh. Okay, that would at least get us into, Earth's orbit based on its center of influence, right? And then we would just be able to reduce the either the periapsis, well, probably the periapsis would be better, because that is the lowest point. And then that would at least allow us to come back into the atmosphere. So let's see how close we can get that. Okay, so. All right, so the closest we can get it, at least it's only a burn of 17 seconds. But the closest that looks like we can get it is about almost, it's 4 million kilometers from the planet. We should have enough fuel in the final stage, which is, again, meant to maneuver around the moon and assist with the docking of the lander craft and so forth and so on. Now, this isn't obviously as per NASA specifications, so I'm doing this all, by eye, I guess. So we got 1 hour, 5 minutes for the maneuver. So actually, before we do that, we're going to put ourselves into the direction of our maneuver. And we are going to time warp. The good thing is that if you put yourself into the maneuvering option here prior to time warping, it will stay in that direction, as opposed to enabling time warp and then trying to change all this. So we're getting to our maneuver here. So we have a little bit of juice left in this second stage. It's another supposed 4 minutes. Let's just get that down to 1. All right. So we only have to fire for 17 seconds. I doubt that this is going to last that. That means that this stage will be stuck, unfortunately, in the moon, around the moon, orbiting. But then we've got our final stage, this one here, which also has RCS, which is just rocket control system type maneuvering fuel. And we should be able to get back into Earth's orbit. So All right, we're at the time. We're going to fire. Got to monitor this. 17 seconds. It'll stop if we run out of fuel, which we just did. And we're going to eject that stage. Throttle up. And activate. As we watch the maneuvering time reduce. Bird time is reflecting that. And let's lower the throttle. There we go. All right. 1 meter per second, not too bad at all. So if we look, we are now going to be flung out of the influence of the Mun, which is what this planet's called, the analog to the moon, and its orbit will then take it over to this orbit right here. So let's check the chat. Got 7 viewers right now. I think all the hate watchers left. I don't know if there's anything going on, but I'm playing Kerbals and I'm having fun. So we're going to time warp here to see what happens. So watch this. So not only is it moving towards the Earth equivalent, Kerbal, it's orbiting in this direction as well. So it looks weird, like how is that there going to be there? But just watch. See? This is just telling you this is the escaping the moon influence. That little blue thing is basically saying by the time it reaches that point, the moon will no longer exert any gravitational force on it. And by that point, it'll be here within the influence of the Earth, because that influence is much stronger. And I keep calling Earth and Kerbal the same. You guys know what I'm talking about. So this is what I'm so fascinated about when it comes to orbital dynamics and such. And this stuff has been known for over 100 years. Well, actually several hundreds of years, to be quite honest, if you want to get technical. So there we go. So we're just about to get into the influence of Kerbal. Well, we're on time warp, so. And gracefully reaching that point. And what we're going to do is as soon as we get to that point, so it's going to be over there. But as soon as we get to that point, we're going to go into retrograde. Okay, so it's pointing the engine nozzle backwards. It's all relative in space. And we're going to attempt to actually reduce this as much as possible, if not get it all the way into the Earth. Kerbal. Basically, we want to the planet to catch us, but we want to basically deorbit, essentially. Because I'm not. Well, actually, we could try to just get a regular orbit. So what I was hoping to emulate was coming back, because when you're coming back from the moon at this speed, you have escape velocity, and you've got to escape velocity is huge, and you've got to reduce that escape velocity so that when you come into the atmosphere, you don't burn right up, or that you hit it so hard that your craft just bounces right off the atmosphere and just flies right into space. And there's several instances of that actually happening to Soviet cosmonauts in the past, which was recorded, intercepted, but the Soviets never came out and admitted it. And there's this whole, thing about the lost astronauts. You guys should look it up if you're interested in this sort of thing. So, just about ready to intersect here. 3 minutes according to the game, which is obviously faster than real time. But what I want to do is I want to wait for the right precise moment so that, actually no, we'll probably do it there then. I'll wait till we're there. So we'll go a little quicker. Okay, so you'll see this now. about to intersect. 20 seconds. Almost there. You're going to see the color change as well. Boom, blue. We are now under the influence of Kerbal. So when we get to this point here is when we want to do our maneuver. We want to reduce our orbit. I'm going to zoom out here. So we're going to go in prograde. See, boom. All right, so 500,000 kilometers. I don't know if you can actually change this to miles, but to my knowledge, NASA doesn't use miles anymore. And they had problems when they did work with somebody, I think it was a British company that did use miles. And basically because the software didn't realize that, well, they didn't realize that, so the software just treated all as kilometers. This probe crashed into Mars, so they lost hundreds of millions of dollars, I guess. So, almost there. Oh, fuck. I didn't mean to do that. So, we're going to have to cancel this. Okay, what I want to do here is add this maneuver. We're almost there, so I really want to do this quick. Come on. Add the maneuver. So, we want to reduce this to a manageable 100, I'd say. $297. 80. A little more. 86. 160. Good enough. All right. So, yeah, let's do this. I think we're close to. Oh, thank God. We're. Actually, can I move this around? No, I can't. There's one way actually you can move them. All right, so we got to wait about 4 minutes, so we'll time warp that. We got to go into maneuver mode. Oh, that's good actually. Our shows that our orbit is fairly good. It might be slightly off, but it actually shows that when the prograde and the maneuver are all in the same plane, that you're basically right there. So you're, basically saying that your angles are perfect and that your maneuver is going to be as efficient as possible. Maybe a little bit more time warp. All right. So I always prep around a minute. And let's just adjust our orbital here. There we go. And let's watch the magic happen. So it's about a 40-second burn. Fuel's doing good. Yeah, this fuel would have been sufficient. If this got to the moon alone, it would have been enough to create an orbit, stable orbit, maneuver, do all sorts of things, dock, and then make its way back to Kerbal. So this little capsule here, our version of the Orion, seems to be working quite well. So, gotta slow this down here. Ideally, we would want 0, but it's not always the case, and we can still deal. There's a leeway that's basically allowed. We're going slow enough that we can reduce it as much as possible here. Oh, there we go. Not bad. 0.4 meters per second. So we're going to remove that maneuver now. And we're going to be coming into Kerbal's orbit. Periapsis at 118,000 kilometers. Or 118 kilometers. Now, for some reason, something just changed on us. What the hell? Did we just get pulled into... I don't know what just happened. I think the moon may have just taken... What happened? Okay, well, the only way to find out is to fast forward. The moon may have taken over... May have re-grabbed us again. Or grabbed us again. But what the fuck? No. No, actually, yes, it did. It influenced us. It sort of pulled us out of orbit and then... That's hilarious. I've never seen that before. That's hilarious. All right. Well, first time for everything, right? So... But now but that changed it. I guess it pulled us. Yeah, it pulled us and it reduced our periapsis. That's fucky. 90 should be enough though. But shit, that's really cool. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. All right, let's, what's this orbit here? Oh, there's the Steve Callan telescope. Maybe it should have been called the ITS. Well, it was created before the ITS craze came about. Another thing that I'm proud of. Thank you very much. But yes, the Steve Callan telescope. Observing everything from the stars and beyond. And there's, this is Minmus. It's a somewhat challenging planet to get to. Although it is one of the moons of Kerbal. And it's got really low gravity. So you can technically use your thrusters in your spacesuit and launch yourself off the planet. And then get into orbit. It's crazy. So let's zoom back in here. This has been an extremely successful mission of my engineering skills. Certainly not the inhabitants on board. They were just there as tourists. But yeah, I'm very proud of this. So now let's fast forward here so that we can. Oops, there we go. There we go. All right. So we want to reduce this because we certainly don't want to go back out that far. We certainly don't need to. So we want this get this close to the same here, about 90. What does it say? 670. 387. Once it starts to flip around like that, it's getting very close to the same. Yeah, but this starts to lower. 138. No. Well, we got enough fuel to fuck around with. It's 95. 99. Perfect. So this one's 74, which you can still handle it, but it starts to, there's drag that's created on the, oops, I got to start firing this fucking maneuver. Yeah, there's drag that's caused by the atmosphere, and you don't really want to risk it because if your orbit starts to deteriorate, then eventually the atmosphere is actually going to cause further deterioration to it. So yeah, I missed my spot, and I got a minute to burn here. See, that's why it's not good to do it after the the periapsis, for example. It's always good to do it before, but we got enough fuel to fuck around with, and we're just playing. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with this version. There's a few tweaks that could be done, and obviously I can adapt it to add some sort of landing, because most of my landings I've done have been single stage, and it is technically the easier one with less variables, but there is the the model that was used purportedly with Apollo, which is to have docking, in space, and you leave certain parts behind, and you limit weight and so forth. So, well, there's that, but many people did support the single stage. Shout out to JDiz in the chat. He says, What's up, Dave? Hope you all enjoyed your birthday. Thank you. Getting ready to head out and handle some real-life duties. Have a good stream, man. Thank you very much. All right, so we're almost done with the burn. Fuel is, well, we've used a lot of fuel for this unnecessary maneuver, but regardless, here we are. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. That's what we're going to do. We're going to use the remainder of our fuel to do this. Jeez, come on. All right. But see, as you can see, by our inefficient maneuver, our periapsis now is going to take us into the atmosphere, which means, like at that, that's already in the atmosphere, which means that once we start to hit it, this is going to immediately start to drop because it's going the drag is going to reduce our orbit even further. So this isn't bad because although we have fuel, we're basically set up for a re-entry now. We don't have to worry about that. Let me just quickly check with the chat. No, I thought it was another message. Okay. So, there's many things that we can do, really, but since we're going to just utilize this opportunity because we don't need to circularize this further just to then reduce it again because, there's limited amount of fuel and we don't want to play around with getting stuck in orbit. We've had our fun with this particular capsule. Yeah, and I'm very, very proud of it. It's actually came out quite well and is not very, but it's somewhat accurate to what the real one looks like. And NASA's priorities are in what's the term I was just going to use? Whatever. NASA's priorities are important. There we go. When their, I guess, purpose or mission for the Artemis 2 mission, which is to land I think it's the land actual men. I don't believe they're going for just an orbit around the moon, but they, one of their missions is basically we need the first woman and the first person of color on the moon. Not let's get the most skilled people possible because, this is a resource-rich, laden, celestial, planet. And we could definitely utilize smart minds to figure out how to make it work for Earth. No. It's like, let's just virtue signal. Good stuff. So, we have Tony, Keith, and YR all on the craft here. YR doesn't seem to be having any fun. Actually, none of them seem to be having any fun. After all I did, not having any fun. Unreal. So what we want to do is we want to eject this stage here. Although it has fuel and stuff, we're just going to eject it. And we want to eject it in a direction that won't cause us any problems when we want to eject it out this way, obviously. Because as we start to re-enter, it will also slow down. And we certainly don't want to get hit by that as we re-enter. Actually, you know what? We'll do it the opposite way so that it's going What's going in the atmosphere first? Let's see where we're at. We still haven't reached our apoapsis. There's another site there. Actually, can we do it? Yes, I think we can. I think we might be able to reduce our orbit so we land either at base or just outside in the ocean. Let's do it. Prograde, retrograde, engage. All right, and we got the fuel for it. See this? See it? It's gonna start to melt into the planet. So this, where it's here, it'll definitely reduce. Problem is, it's so challenging to figure out exactly where you're going to end up going. Because if I reduce it too much, it might end up over here. So, take some expertise. Because as you can see, this steep angle of attack is going to be, and that's what they call it, steep angle of attack. It's going to be reduced substantially by the atmosphere. So it's certainly going to probably come over to here. So I'm going to go back to prograde. Still have that fuel to play around with. I just hope that that's sufficient. Well, either way, we're going to land. I say, let's see here. What do we have? This will reduce. Maybe a little bit less. There we go. We'll go with that. That should bring us close enough to this. So I'm going for middle of the ocean there, or close to the end. All right. So let's position ourselves to eject this component here. Whoops. So we're moving in this direction. And we want this. I'm trying to think which one's going to reduce speed more. We're going to shoot it upwards. All right. So there goes that thing. The service the service module. And now what we're going to do is prep ourselves up. And we want to be in retrograde. Whoops. Retrograde. There we go. As we fall back to the planet. And we can see our speed here increasing quite dramatically. 2,000 meters per second. And we're going to actually start to, not yet because we're still in space, but once we start to hit the atmosphere, we're going to start to see this reduce dramatically. I just hope I've calculated properly so that we get as close to Kerbal Space Center as possible. Now they look like they're having fun, I guess. Let's speed it up a bit. About 150, 130, 120 kilometers. 100 kilometers. This is what's called the Kármán line in real life, where if you breach that that distance, you're considered, or were considered, an astronaut. Now, apparently, NASA is cutting back on that, so you have to actually be an astronaut. You know, SpaceX or somebody else might call you that, but NASA is no longer recognizing anybody that goes above the Kármán line unless they go through astronaut training. So I'm sure that Drew will feel very good about that, because he had an issue of contention with that in the past. So we are now at about 80 kilometers. Haven't hit the atmosphere just yet, so obviously this hasn't reduced. So let's do a little bit of a time warp here. And we'll start to see thermal results here. Yeah, and it slows us down once we start to get into the atmosphere. So as you can see, we're hitting the atmosphere. We're going to start to see thermal effects on here in a bit. And we're going to take a look and see here that this will start to reduce. It'll just reduce a lot more when, you know, you've got the atmosphere hitting us. There we go. We start to see thermal effects. Yep, you see? There you go. It's reducing. Reducing very nicely, actually. Good rate. We're going to be flying over this in a little bit. So if we start to hit, you know, rough patches of the atmosphere, which we will in a bit, it should bring us nice and close to this. Again, I'm hoping that we get right on it. And it's such a huge challenge. There it is. There it is. There's our space center. Problem is, I don't think we're going to... I think we will overshoot it. Pity. It's still reducing, but I just don't think that it's going to reduce in time. But we still got to get into the thicker part of the atmosphere. So this isn't bad. So we are... Oh, what I got to do is activate the drogue, which I just did, but we're still going a little too fast. So I've deployed it, but we're still going too fast, and the thermal issues are having problems here. Yeah, we are going to pass it, unfortunately. It is starting to reduce a fair bit. Maybe the drogue activated. No, it's still at 26 kilometers. So it's now right below us. Pity. But it shouldn't be too far off the coast. I mean, that's not bad. Is shit in the chat, Costanza? Okay, so... Yeah, there's the drogue. And I just went... There we go. So there's the other ones. But, yeah, we've overshot our mark, unfortunately. So close, though. Still, if you can accomplish this, you know, when it comes to NASA, like if you can get your craft, your capsule to land so close to the launch site, it makes recovery so much quicker and easier. And, yeah, you can get right back to launching and such. That was nice, though. That was very close. That definitely worked out extremely well. Very well engineered. And, yeah, there's a few tweaks, but I'm thinking that this is probably one of the better ones that I've engineered. And certainly came out extremely efficient. I don't know if these have been damaged at all. Oh, no, we're still at 3 kilometers. Well, the small one should actually open up. I think about 1 kilometer or so. Okay, so the drogue is finally fully open. These ones should fully open and reduce our speed because we're still going in quite quick. It's supposed to reduce to about 3 meters per second. There we go. So they did open up. Next time what I might do is add a drogue chute, but then have an ejection for the drogue chute. So as they continue to land towards the surface, this group of somewhat cowardly explorers has actually survived the mission unscathed, but probably traumatized. So even the blader plate, the heat shield here, survived quite a lot. We didn't use any monopropellant, and we still have a substantial amount of electric charge. So not too shabby, actually. Very, very happy with how it came out. Still falling here, about 300 meters. Speed continues to remain the same. Now about 200 meters from the surface. It's coming down nicely. And we have a nice touchdown. And we have a successful return of the crew. So we're going to recover the vessel. And very good stuff. Let's see here. Let me just check with the chat. We got 10 people watching. Yeah, too bad the hate watchers are gone. But let's see here. We've been playing for about 2 hours and a minute. I don't think that was a bad little venture into some gaming. I gotta figure out why the hell I can't find Greasy, because this is just unreal. So now he's not lost anymore? Is he here? So there's Greasy illegal now. I have no idea. And there's the regular Greasy one that I made just a little while ago it's not showing up. So I don't know about that. But yeah, perhaps we'll have to strap Greasy to a rocket and shoot him out of the country. That seems to be the only way to keep him out. Let's see here. Let's see if I can make any fucking new Kerbal. Let's make Dave Kerbal. Pilot. Supremely courageous and absolutely no stupidity whatsoever. Veteran and badass. So, Dave Kerbal, where are you? Are you there? I don't see anyone. I don't know if there shouldn't be a limit as to who's, how many Kerbals you can create. I don't know. Let's just pick this and see whether or not it populated it. There it is. Okay, cool. All right, so it is there. Don't save. There we go. I've been thinking also of doing a called, a news stream for quite some time. There's a lot of stories in the news, a lot of stuff that the media isn't covering. Excuse me. And a lot of the stuff seems to be the what's it called? Just the hoaxes that are going on in the Ukraine right now. All right, how am I going to do this? I thought there was another. There's supposed to be one like this, but with no nose. And it's not this one, it's smaller. And it's not this one, because this is only one. All right, well, where's the fuselage? I'm going to do something fun, I think. Skibbity bop da da. There we go. So we're going to want that. But we need. I guess we're going to have to use it. Is it going to be this one then? No, that won't work. No, I'm going to use one of these guys then. It'll be autonomous. Where's our decouplers? There we go. Nope. Maybe you don't want to go on. Go on. There you go. Perfect. All right. I'll call this the White Pearl, me hearties. The White Pearl. Save it. Populate it with Dave Kerman. Let's go back to the building. And how are we going to do this again? Let me quickly check one thing. Saw somebody build this the other day, and I'm thinking it might work. I'm going to try to. Is this the one? Yeah. All right, let's see if I can make this work. Is the one we want? I think so. So, aerodynamics. Where's the one that we want? I think that's the one. Yes. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. I hit me microphone. Wonder if anyone can guess what I'm making. Actually, Why is it not letting me spin the entire thing? There we go. Alright, so where is what we wanted? Clone these. There we go. How are we going to do this? Maybe I'll have to just make it one. Try something different. Bow wow. That's not going to work. Still don't see anyone who might know what I'm trying to make here, but oh, there we go. That should work. There we go. Arr. Let's see. Oh, yes, there was these ones. These ones. That piece go, there it is. There we go. All right, so we want to. I think it's this one, right? Actually, no. I think this is supposed to be smaller. Certainly not that one. Oh, there we go. Might have to put more planning into this thing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna save that for another time. Let's exit out of here. We have to make a Vikings character. So Vikings. Oops. Male. I'll make him a pilot. He's fairly courageous, but he's somewhat stupid. He is a veteran. And no, he's not a badass. So, let's go back to the space plane hangar and see what we got. Well, I wanted a new one, actually, but let's see. There's a big plane here, I believe. There we go. I think that's the one. There we go. Yeah. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to put Vikings in there. Nope. Get these people out of there. And he's going to launch. He's feeling kind of crazy. I strike again! All right. So, let's throttle up. Let's go. Viking, I think, has a point to make. We're going to send him off to the... Oh, the thing's taking off on its own. Damn. Some good aerodynamics. Shit, this is fast. I strike again, motherfuckers! Light's not that good, but we're heading to, I believe, this island here. And throttle down, buddy. Throttle down. We're going to see if we can get them to land at the island. I want to pull up their Vikings. It's a little bit unwieldy. Probably would have worked better in some better light, but hey. We are approaching that alternate landing site here. Slow ourselves down. Check out our map. We want to make sure the apoapsis always stays in front of us, because if not, we're going to stall or we're going to crash. We are at about 2 kilometers, 2.5 kilometers, so we'll be reducing our altitude. approaching the landing, currently at 159 meters per second at 1.6 kilometers and falling. We want to reduce our speed a little bit more. Try to reduce our come on. This should be where the, if this isn't where the runway is, we're fucked. This is where it should be. I think that's what we're seeing right there. Come on, Vikings, you can do it. Yeah, there it is. Shit. We gotta increase our speed or we're gonna fucking stall and crash. It's like landing at Hong Kong's airport. Fuck, we're gonna miss it. I strike again, motherfuckers! I strike again! I strike again! I strike again! Come on! Oh, he actually did land. And now he's gonna go right into the sea. Oh, Vikings. Vikings. Just unreal. Well, he struck again. For the last time. So let's quit to the menu here. That was quite comical, I think. And we're going to quit the game because I had some fun and we've been going on for quite some time. But life goes on, as they say. So let me just get this screen back here. There we go. The game stream. So yeah, I hope to do some more Kerbals in the future, especially with all the cool space news that's coming out. I want to get into that. Well, I'm going to get more into the fishing game than I was telling you guys about. Fishing Planet. It's free. You can play co-op. You can hang out. Basically, while you fish, and you know, considering GTA Online, because obviously I have that game, and who knows, maybe some other game. But yeah, I think we've been going long enough to pull the plug. So I appreciate everyone that did join us today, except for Shed. Fuck you, Shed, and fuck you, Scotty. But thank you to the hate watchers. We all know that you were there. So on that note, who knows? Maybe I'll do a news stream later tonight. Again, there's so much stuff about Ukraine I want to talk about, and I'm not hearing people talk about it. So I want to talk about it. Who knows? Maybe some other stuff. This week's really weird, just because of all this crazy shit that I got to go do. But I'm sure you'll see me around. On that note, I am Devious Dave Rose. I hope you guys have a pleasant evening and an awesome tomorrow, and we shall see you next time.